Hey guys, it's Jasmine and today I am here with the Asus ROG Ally X edition. One thing that's worth noting about the Asus ROG Ally X is that it is £100 more than the original Asus ROG Ally was on release. So this comes in at £799, whereas the original was £699. And the processor in this is exactly the same. So you still get the AMD Z1 Extreme Edition. And although you do get other spec upgrades like your RAM and your storage, the processor that runs all of the games in here, which is an APU, so both CPU and GPU in one, is exactly the same as the original. So that's just one thing worth noting. If you're looking for more power, that's not necessarily going to be the case here. However, you will get a little bit better performance based on the other spec upgrades that you get here, especially the RAM, which is a big jump here. So that is a really interesting thing worth noting. I am wrecking the CPU, by the way. I'm actually not. I'm losing really bad because I'm trying to speak at the same time. I'm especially interested in comparing some of the frame rates that I got on the original Asus ROG Ally with this one. Despite it being the same processor, I just want to see if the improvements that they've made make a big difference to the performance of the device or not, see if it's worth that £100 price bump. As I am running the game, the heat has dissipated super duper well. If I obviously point the exhaust fans at me like this, you can see the exhaust fans here and here, then I can feel the air coming out and it still doesn't feel too hot, which is amazing. I just lost the battle. Great. The Asus ROG Ally X has the ROG Zero Gravity dual fan design to keep it cool and quiet, and that is certainly the case. I've also got a game running in the background, as well as a load of other programs. You can see sort of here, I've got different things open, and it's running relatively cool and very quiet. I'm not getting much heat coming out of it. There's just obviously your standard heat dissipation coming from the fans, and it is quite loud in here, so maybe I just can't hear it over everyone talking, but it is quite quiet. Even when I hold it straight up to my ear, I can't hear anything. I'm going to hold it up to the mic and see if it picks up anything. You can see it kind of moving the fabric around the microphone, so maybe it will, but I can't hear anything. And that is with a game running. Even when I was in-game and battling, I couldn't hear it, so it is much quieter than the original. And let me just check if it's in turbo mode. So it is operating in turbo mode here, as you can see, which means that this is the highest performance mode, and I'm still not getting very much noise. There is also a silent mode, which I am interested to see just how silent it gets, because I already feel like it's pretty silent right now, which is really cool. That has been around 7 minutes of game time, and we've gone down at 2%. Just FYI update on the battery there. I do wish I could spend hours and hours here to see if the improved battery life really is sustainable here. Going from a 40 watt hour battery to an 80 watt hour battery should be a noticeable difference, but unfortunately it's just a hands-on. I don't have the product in for a full review yet to be able to see if that is the case. So once I do have it in for full review, get my opinions on the full battery life. That was one of the biggest complaints from fans. The battery life just wasn't there to be able to support running AAA titles the way that you'd want it to. When you're running titles like Cyberpunk, which are super duper demanding, that's always the example I use, because Cyberpunk is somewhat poorly optimized, so it is a bit more demanding than other AAA titles. I was looking at a battery life that made it not even worth booting up on the original Asus ROG Ally, whereas 80 watt hours should be giving me double the playtime. I think I got around 90 minutes on the original, so being able to play for up to 3 hours on this one is a massive jump. But I'll have to see if that's actually the case when I get the unit in for a full review. Another big change here is that you actually get a 1TB SSD, which is something you won't really be able to tell when playing a game, but instead will be when you're obviously installing your titles and stuff. You are going to run out of space much slower. You're going to be able to install way more games. 1TB versus the original 512GB, it does give you plenty of extra room. We've obviously got the Armory crate here that you can see, so this is where you can access all of the titles exactly the same way as you can with the Asus ROG Ally original handheld. In terms of weight, this device is heavier than the original by around 80 grams. It is quite a significant difference when you consider it in terms of percentages. You're looking at an over 10% increase, but I'm going to be honest, I can't really feel it. And one thing that's cool about the weight distribution is that they've actually made sure to try and keep it relatively balanced and even by putting the battery in these sort of sections of the device where you'll be holding it, so you don't feel the weight as much on like your wrists and your arms while you're gaming for long periods of time. So it actually increases the comfort quite a lot in terms of like where the buttons are, how satisfying they feel to press, your joysticks and stuff. It feels relatively similar. The black is also growing on me, to be completely honest with you. I thought I wasn't going to like the black because all gaming handhelds are black. In this day and age, you get the Steam Deck, you get the Lenovo Legion Go, the MSI Claw. I thought, okay, the Asus ROG Ally isn't going to stand out if it goes black. But I don't think it really needs to. I think it is standing out a lot with the specifications that it has, but you can see where this kind of does blend in with all the other gaming handhelds that you can get right now. It looks very, very similar. But the black is definitely growing on me. You can't go wrong, it's sleek, it's got a matte finish, so it doesn't get loads of fingerprints on it. The screen, on the other hand, is a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, I'll be honest. You can kind of see there, if I tilt it like that, you can see where there's been like fingerprints and stuff on it, so that is a little bit of a downside, unfortunately. The Asus ROG Ally X has been announced on June 2nd, and it will be coming on the 22nd of July, which is still a little while away, but in the meantime, I've managed to get a hands-on preview with the device to see how it stacks up against the original. This has been Jasmine from the Mirror Gaming team here at Asus HQ testing out the Asus ROG Ally X. Be sure to like this video if you want to see more, subscribe to see the full review of the device coming soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!